We did it. Yay. Oh. There you go. Too much light. There we go. Yay! Crochet time with my wife and anybody else if they want, but mostly my wife. Okay. First, your yarn. Whatever yarn you want correlates to whatever hook you need. And it's always on the label. So right here, it's going to tell you the weight. So this one's a weight 4. If it'll focus. Weight 4. And then the hook size. Man, this is god awful. Anyways, it says 5.5 right here. Your yarn might be the same. It might not be the same. Don't know. And from the yarn skein, there's 2 ways to get the yarn out. So one of them is like wrapped around the outside, and you can use either side that you want, but I prefer to use the center pull from the Yarnussi. And the Yarnussi.
Is that a real term?
No. The real term is called the center pull. If you see it like this, man, like this, it's like tight coming out of here. That is not the center pull. It's like, this is just, that's not it. I don't know how to explain it. Most of the time you have to dig it out, and you'll like figure it out as you get further along. So you might, easiest option is to unravel it like from the outside, but eventually you'll figure out how to pull it from the center, so you never have like, you don't have to stop putting down your project to fucking unravel the skein of yarn. Anyway, there's 2 ways to, oh, mine says 5.5. I got my 5.5 hook, 5.5, or the letter I, so just, correlate. God damn. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 5.5, I, 5.5. Okay. For going in like rectangles, mostly flat crochet projects, you're going to go in the chains like you were trying to do. And this is how I hold my yarn. I take my tail and I take 2 fingers and I wrap around and around, and I just make like an X. And then I take my hook and I go under the first line in the X, sorry. And then I grab the second one with the bottom of the hook, pull it up, twist it, then I turn my fingers around, and then I just pull my fingers out. And then you just pull this down. You can pull on both the sides to tighten it up. Don't tighten it too much, because then you're not going to actually like be able to work in them, because like you tighten it so much you can like barely move it on your hook. You want it to be not too tight but not too loose. And that's a slip knot. That's your little slip knot. So I'm going to do it again. So wrap around my fingers, just make my X, go under the first line, over the second, grab, pull, twist my fingers, pull my fingers out, and then there it is. I don't even know if this light is helping or making it worse. It might have been making it worse. Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time. Wrap, under, pull, twist fingers, remove fingers, pull tight. There are other ways, like if you just cannot grasp it the way I'm doing it, encourage you to look at other videos, because it took me like 50 million tries. So after this, I actually like to hold my work, I guess, down here. I like to pinch it with my thumb and my middle finger, and with my index finger is how I hold my yarn up. So, okay, I hold my hook like this. You want to keep your tail in, like, it doesn't have to be super long, but I like to leave it longer rather than shorter because you can always cut off, but obviously you can't add more. So I'm gonna, let's see how I do this. Yeah, I'm gonna grab it like this with my bottom two fingers, pull it kind of tight, not too tight, just a little bit. I use this finger for my tension, my index finger, and then I take these and I pinch. I know that sounds like a lot, but so I'll do it again. Let's see. How do I do it again? I do it so fast I don't even know. Okay, yeah, so I grab with these, put my finger down here. I use that for my tension. I take my middle finger and my forefinger and I just hold it like kind of down here on the tail. And then, yeah, so this finger and how I'm holding it in my hand still, I keep the yarn wrapped in these two fingers the whole time I'm crocheting. I don't know if you can see it, like that. And then I hold my work, and then this is always going to be for your tension or what, however you hold it, it doesn't matter, but you're going to have some control over your tension, which is just how tight you're holding your yarn that's still connected to your skein. Your working yarn is what it's called. And like I said, if it's too tight, you really won't like be able to go in through your project, or your project will be really tight, not very loose and flowy, especially if you're doing like clothes. It's not going to be like loose and flowy like clothes. It's going to be really, really tight, not very stretchy. Um, but if you are crocheting and it's really, really tight like that, I suggest going up on your hook size or two, or like a half, like go up half at a time, because that will help with your, like naturally help with your tension. Okay, let's see, where am I? And then, so now that I'm holding my yarn still, holding the tail, got my index finger with my tension, not too tight. So like this would be tight, like I'm straining my fingers. So you want it to like just pretty natural. You don't want to make it too tight. You shouldn't be cramping or anything. It should feel really natural. So to start chaining, all you're doing is wrapping the yarn around your hook, or really you're wrapping your hook around your yarn, because that's where your movement's coming from. It's called yarn over. So you're gonna take your hook, I hold mine like this, you're gonna yarn over like that, and then you just use the hook part to actually like grab the yarn and manipulate it. So then you just pull it through the loop, and that's one chain. This little oval is the chain. The one that's on your hook, this loop that you can like loosen and tighten with your working yarn, it does not count whenever you're counting your chains. Like if your pattern says chain 50, that's not 2. You still just have 1. So we'll just say, for instance, that this one is calling for a chain of 10, or yeah, we'll just do 10. So I did 1. We'll do it again. Sorry. 2, 3, yarn over, pull it through, 4, but leave it on your hook, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I promise nobody's peeing. That's just kind of what it sounds like. Now, normally, these are the loops that you're going to be working in. Let me see if I can show you better. From the top of your work is how you're always going to look at it. So this is what your loops, each one should look like going down your chain, like under my hook. So this is where you're supposed to work. You're supposed to work under both of them. I'm going to put it back on like that never happened, okay? From the top, or from, I don't know which way you're holding it, but from the normal way, you're going to see it like this. But from the sides, you should see it underneath, and through these holes in between these loops from the side is where you're working to get underneath. I know that sounds crazy. That's how you're supposed to do it. But for your first chain, honestly, I would recommend just going in the back loop. So if you see you have Holy crap, this is hard to show. You have your back loop, which is this one, that one, and then you have your front loop, which is this one, which obviously is like front is the closest to you, back is furthest away. But like I said, normally you work in both of them at the same time, but for your first like stitches that you're doing in your chain, I just recommend going in the back. Most of the time, you need an extra chain for your turning chain. After you do a row, you're going to turn and then work it again in the back, and then keep going back and forth, like turning at the end, turning, turning. So you need one extra chain just to help you like maneuver around. So let's see, I did 10. So if it says like you need 10 in a row, you really need to chain 11 for your turning chain. And then, like I said, the one on your hook doesn't count. The next one is your turning chain. So then the second one from your hook is the one that you work in. So again, the one on your hook doesn't count. This first one is your turning chain. So it's going to be the second one that you work in. And I'm going to work in the back. Gosh, I'm so sorry. You're not going to be able to see it very well until I get to the end. Oh my gosh. In the back only. So there's, anyway, so you'll have two for your most basic stitch is the single crochet. You're going to go in, yarn over like you're chaining, pull through just that one loop. So you're still going to have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, but this time pull through all of the loops, your 2 loops. And that's one. That's your first single crochet. I'm going to do it again. Let me turn this light back on. And also, like, instead of having to count every single time you finish a row to make sure that you didn't miss anything or you accidentally did 2 in 1 so you have extras or whatever, I like to use a stitch marker. So after, you can do it at the end or at the beginning of your row, it just depends, or both. I like to use that so I know exactly where I started and where I ended. So I'm going to just put that in, in the stitch right there. So like I said, I'll do it again. And I have more right here. Okay. Again, back loop only. This is the back. This one's the front. So I'm going to go in the back. In the back. Hi from Ontario, Canada. Hello, Nancy. Yarn over. Pull through. Gonna have 2 loops again. Yarn over. Pull through both. So there's your second one, and you can see the top right here. Your V's is what they're called, what people like to refer them as. That's how you know you're doing them. I'm not really crocheting anything, just trying to show my friend how to crochet. So just doing some rows, basic stitches. So again, I'm just going in the back loops because it's easier in the chain. Going in, yarning over, pulling up 1 loop, yarning over again, pulling through both. And you're just going to keep going all the way down to get to the end. I'm just going to go in real time. It's going to feel really wonky trying to hold your project, trying to hold your yarn, trying to hold your hook, trying to see where you're working. I also sent you in your package, I sent you some tension rings, or a tension ring, the ring with the cat. You can look up a video on how to wrap it, but basically like you'll take your working yarn and loop it within the ring so you don't have to hold, I mean, you'll still have to hold your finger out, but instead of your tension being solely like how you're holding it in between all your fingers, your ring will catch it for you. So you can use that. So that's my first row, really pretty. And then once again, you're going to want to chain for your turning row, chain 1, and then we're going to turn our work, flip it around. And now this is the back side. So we're going to do the same thing. Hook, the loop on your hook doesn't count. The next one is your chain 1. So then this one is the first one we're going to be working in. And now you can go through both the loops. So from the top, you'll see the V's again. You want to go through underneath both of them. I'm so sorry. It's so hard to see. Let me see if I can show you like this. So that's from the very tippy top of your project. Like if you're pinching it from the sides, from the very top, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see the V's. So if you look, and you can use like a needle that I sent you, scissors, a pencil, like anything really like just pointy, or even your hook, I mean. But if you go, you can see underneath your V's, there's a little space, and you know if it's the right space, if it's going in easy. If you're putting it in the hole and it's like, man, I'm getting caught in my yarn and I can't get my hook back out, you're in the wrong hole. Like, that sounds crazy. That sounds really crazy to say, but if it doesn't feel right, you're in the wrong hole. You should be able to see exactly where you're crocheting. That's the hole. That's the hole. The top one. That's the hole. Like, you really should not be getting any strain on anything. But like I said, you want to go under both of the loops. You can see my hook is under both of them, back and front. I'm really sorry about the quality. And then, yeah, I'm just doing single crochets. I'm going to keep going. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up both my loops. That's just the basic single crochet. Man, I'm getting some yarn barf in the center of my thing. I'm going to just continue down this row again, and then we will go to a different stitch. Pop, 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 pop. Sometimes on the ends, your last stitch can like kind of slant down. Like, for example, you'll see right now, my last stitch is like really slanted downwards compared to my other ones. Let's pull this out. See how it's like slanted downwards, this V, instead of laying upright like this, it's going kind of like this. That's one of the reasons why I like to put a stitch marker on the ends, because when you're doing rows like this, the most likely stitches that you're going to miss are the ones on the ends, not really the ones on the middle, because you'll be able to tell, like, oh, I got a hole here. I didn't fill something in right here. But the ones on the ends are really likely to get missed. So my hook back in, and that's something that you can do too. You can just pull your hook out so that if you ever like need your hook off of your project, you can leave this long. You can even put a stitch marker in the loop. If you don't want to leave your hook in, or you're like worried about it, you can put it in, and these close up so they don't fall off. So you can just, now you have it on the go, or if you need to put it away, you're not working on it anymore. Okay, let's see, where am I? Sorry if my yarn has hair in it, I'm sure it does. So again, in both of the loops, I'm yarning over, pulling through. I'm yarning over, pulling through both. Like I said, there should be no like resistance. So if you're going in and you're getting stuck, or you're coming out of a hole and you're getting stuck, something's wrong. But like I said, you should just feel it. It should feel very natural. Um, so this is the shortest, most basic stitch is the single crochet, and it's, like I said, it's pretty short. There's already 2 rows here done plus the chain down here, but there are other stitches and they get taller in size the further down the row you go, basically. Not down the row in here, but I mean like the metaphorical row of types of crochets stitches. This one is more used for like plushies because since it's really little, it's tight, it holds shape better, so yeah, pretty much it's good for plushies because it can hold its shape pretty well. My favorite stitch, the next stitch is the half double crochet. And since it's taller, it depends. You can do a chain 1 or a chain 2. But I like to do a chain 1. I'm going to do a chain 1. And I'm going to show you how to do the half double crochet. So same concept as before. The first hook, the loop on your hook doesn't count. Second loop is the turning chain. And then this one is your first stitch that you're going to work in. So for the half double, you're going to yarn over first, and then you're going to insert into your loops, your stitch. You're going to yarn over again, pull through 1. This time you have 3 on your hook, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. And then once again, I'm going to put a stitch marker there so you can just see. I'm just going to continue. I'm going to yarn over from the top if you want to see it from the top. Here's your stitch, your little V shape. I'm going to go in under both of the loops, yarn over, pull through just the 1, yarn over and pull through the last 3. And I'm just going to keep going. If it's feeling really tight, like I said, you can move up in a hook size. It's the quickest fix until you practice getting your tension right. Just go up half. If it's still too tight, go up a little bit more. I really wouldn't recommend going up more than like 1.5 because then it's going to start probably being wonky. Okay, yay! I don't know if you can even tell yet, but I'll just do 1 more row of half doubles to see if you can see a difference in the stitches. Oops. I should have probably told you at the beginning, don't pick black yarn to start. It's really, really hard to see the stitches because it's black. I mean, it all kind of blends together. Got this light on higher. Oh god, that's way too much. Let's just try that. Taking my stitch marker out, we're on the last one. Okay. You can kind of see the difference in the stitches, but I mean, I probably should have done like different swatches, but you can see these 2 rows are the same and then these 2 rows are different. Like I said, they just kind of get taller. And for like a really drapey look, most people do the double crochet. So that's if you're going to be making a lot of clothes, that's probably what you're going to be using the most of. Whoops, hit my head on the camera. For the double crochet, I like to chain, I don't really do the double crochet a lot. I guess I would chain 2 probably, and then just go into the first stitch, chain 2, turn, yarn over, go into the first stitch. You can kind of see more clearly now, the more you work where you're supposed to be working into, like those gaps, that's right there. That's the money spot right there, right underneath both of the loops. Anyways, yarn over first, go in the loop, in your stitch, yarn over again, pull up one loop, pull up through that one, yarn over. Instead of pulling through 3 like the half double, you're going to pull through 2, and then you have 2, and then you're going to pull through the other 2, and then bada bing bada boom, that's a double crochet. And they also just get more loose, they get taller, more flowy, stretchy. So different stitches, they're not like restrictive. I mean, obviously you can use whatever stitch in whatever scenario you want, but some stitches make more sense to use in different scenarios than others. Once again, I'm going to go in, yarn over, in, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull up 1, yarn over, pull up 2, yarn over, pull up 2. And then you just keep going. I like to, when I first started crocheting, I like to write down pretty much what I'm saying, like next to like basically like a vocabulary list. So I do my half double crochet, my single crochet, and I would literally write down what I'm saying. Yarn over, insert into the loop. Yarn over, pull out of the loop, pull up 1. Yarn over, pull 2. Like whatever it was, like that's what I wrote down in my journal when I first started learning. Because once you learn like what the stitch is and how to do it, you can learn how to read patterns. But now you can see these double crochets are taller, more stretchy. They got bigger hole in them. I know you can't tell too much from, oops, the bottom ones, but yeah, you can see these stitches are tight and short. These ones are medium and slightly stretchy, and this last one is tall and really stretchy. And I'm gonna go again. What did I do? Did I do a chain 1 or a chain 2? I think I did chain 2. Okay, there's my first stitch right there. You should, like, you can just see, honestly, if you do it loose enough. Like, if you do it really tight, you're not going to be able to see where you're supposed to go. But, like, I can already just see where I'm supposed to go. It's, like, calling me right here. So yarn over, insert, yada, yada, yada. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to do 2 rows of each because I've already committed thus far. Yay. But yeah, I like the doubles for clothing, especially because it's just beautiful. And there's still 2 more. Let's see. We'll do 3 for this next one, the treble crochet. Yarn over, insert in, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, no, yarn over, pull through, no, I'm doing this wrong. How do you do the treble crochet? Oh, yeah, sorry, you yarn over twice in the beginning. My bad. Yarn over once and yarn over twice. I know it sounds crazy. Then you go in, then you yarn over again, and you pull up, and you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops. And then you yarn over, pull through 2, then you yarn over, pull through 2, and then you yarn over and pull through 2. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's too much. I don't ever use this stitch, but sometimes you will. I'm honestly going to take it out because I don't like it. So for patterns, like I said, if you can learn the stitches and like have your little vocabulary, you can learn the acronyms for them, because people like single crochet, they just say SC for single crochet, half double crochet HDC. So it, if you learn the acronyms and the vocabulary, you can read a pattern pretty easily once you like know the absolute basics of crocheting, because it'll tell you straight up like pattern, whoops, we'll start and it'll say to start first you need to chain 5. Okay, well then I'll just start by chaining 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it'll say in the second chain from your hook, so that's already accounting for your turning chain, it'll say, I don't know, single crochet and single crochet all the way down the line, or repeat until you finish the row. Okay, single crochet all the way down, so that should be 4. We chained 5 minus 1 for the turning chain, so there's 4 in here. And then it might say something like chain 2, turn, skip the first 2 stitches and double crochet in the third one, and then you just follow the instructions. And it might say keep going, it might not, I don't know, I'm just going honestly. But yeah, the patterns will tell you how to start, what stitches to work, and where in your chain to put them, or where in your next stitches to put them. And even it should show you a count at the end. So let's see, I'll just do some single crochets. I don't want to overwhelm, so we'll just chain and start doing some single crochets. Honestly, I'm trying to remember where I was going with this, because I was totally going to make a statement out of this, and now I don't remember what I was going to say or do. So I guess while I finish this, I'll just try to think. Oh, I think I know now. Okay, and then there's one more stitch that people, I mean, I'm not going to say you're not going to use it. You're going to use it. A lot of the times people use this stitch for joining stuff together, or yeah, mostly joining stuff together. I guess I should probably should have done that in the round, but whatever, we're already here. So I'm just going to chain 1 and turn. But basically, for this one, you don't yarn over. You just go into whatever stitch you're going into. You yarn over then, and then instead of yarning over again and pulling through these loops, you just continue to pull this loop through. So essentially, you just kind of like moving down your chain. So people use this to like bounce around in their work. Like say you are doing something down on this end where I'm at right now, where my hook is at, but you need to crochet something over here without adding like really any more stitches here. Like say you're doing a bag. Okay, so this is a bag. You're doing your strap. So you're gonna like chain all the way up, or even like a strap for a shirt. You're gonna chain up, and then you're gonna work back and forth in that chain this way now. But then whenever you come back down here, you don't want to add any more here. You just want to get over here so you can add another strap. So that's what I mean when you can move around with the slip stitches, because it doesn't, like, it does add a little bit, but it's not like a whole stitch, because you're really not adding like a whole lot of new yarn. It's really good for joining, which I'll show you that, pieces together, or to move down your line. But yeah, you just go in, you grab some yarn, and you just keep pulling it through. These are really easy to get tight. So for if you're going to be doing something with a lot of slip stitches, like, I would highly recommend that you don't. But if you are and your tension is tight, automatically you're going to need to get a bigger hook, because those stitches are really easy to get really tight. Now the fun part that nobody can learn for some reason, the magic circle. It took me like 2 months to learn the magic circle, so it doesn't really matter. This is what I do anyway. So this is the tail end. I take it over my hand. Let's see. I gotta like not try to think about what I'm doing too much. Take it over my hand. How many fingers do I wrap it around? I'm trying to think. I think I just wrap it around my bottom too. Oh, no. I don't do my pinky. I'm sorry. I do. But you do whatever feels natural to you. That's what I do. I wrap it, yeah, pretty much just like that. Around my hand first, and then through this way, and then I wrap it again like this. And then I clench it down here with my pinky, and a little bit with my thumb, I guess. And then how do I do this? Yeah, in. I turn it around. It's kind of like the slip knot, I guess. Grab it, twist it, pull it up, remove my fingers. I know this looks crazy, but like, I promise, it's just my 2 fingers in there. It's basically a loose slip knot. I mean, if you really think about it. Sorry, that probably didn't help you at all. And go in, grab it. Whoops. Grab it. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? Oh, okay, that's what. You grab it, and then you want to chain, like, you want to grab more yarn and chain it. I'm going to do it again. Okay, I swear. I'm going to do it right this time. In. How do I do this? I just don't really do the magic circle anymore. Some people like to double up. They say it's more secure, so maybe that's how I should have been teaching you, is to double wrap around your hand. But basically you're just gonna grab this yarn through, and then you're like up here, and then you want to chain 1 just to like secure that in. That's where I was messing up. It wasn't like holding steady, but then I slide my fingers off my hook and down to both of the I'm so sorry, this is awful explaining. Both of them, and I hold it, and then I slide my fingers out, but keep it open like that. And that's where you're going to be crocheting in a magic ring. I know that looks freaking crazy, but you want to keep it turned the way it is. Like, don't try to straighten anything out. But that's why I'm going to just do it again, honestly, because that was awful. Over my hand, under, through my pinky, wrap it around. We'll go twice to make it secure. In, back here, pull this through, grab more of your working yarn, which is going to be this one up top. Pull it. And now this should be pretty secure. This, what's wrapped around your fingers. So like I said, I'm going to grab it with this right hand, slide my fingers out, and that's your magic circle. And the reason it's called a magic circle or a magic ring, I'm going to hold it here right underneath where it's at with my 2 fingers. And I like to turn it sideways a little. It's easier for me to crochet it like that. But in the ring, within the whole ring, under both of these loops, is where you'll be working. So you're going to insert your hook in there, yarn over. We'll just do single crochets. Pull up a loop, you got 2, yarn over, pull up both loops. So that's your first single crochet on a magic ring. And I am very sorry if you didn't get that because, like I said, magic ring is one of the hardest things for most people to learn. So I'm very sorry. You might have to watch that 50 times. I'll probably do it again for you. I'm going to keep going. I'll just do like, most of them call for like 6 to 12 or 10, sometimes 8. So I guess I'll just do 6. So 1. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. In, turn over. 2, 3. You can just keep like rotating around whatever feels comfortable. There's not really any wrong way to crochet, I wouldn't say. 4, right? That's 4. 1. Wait, is that 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. See, handy dandy stitch marker right under my 2 loops. Know which one's the first one. So now I know 1, 2, 3, and 4. Not the one on my loop, but the one on my hook with the one under it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what did I say I was going to do? 6. Okay, 5 and 6. Okay. Looks crazy right now. You're probably thinking, what the fuck is that? What the fuck am I going to do with that, Vanessa? Fear not, wife. Fear not. I'm going to go ahead and, well, I'm going to leave the stitch marker, actually. The tail is where we work our magic. Take the tail. Hold on to this. And just pull on it. Just pull on the tail. And it's going to close up. It's literally magic. You just keep pulling. It's going to be really tight. Oh my God. Probably would have been better if I could use my phone, to be honest. I don't know why it looks so ugly like that. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So here's my where in my stitch. Now they're going. I'm really sorry. Now they're going in a circle. If you can't tell. Now that I've tightened it up, now they're going around in a circle. I'm gonna just do it again, still, so you can see. I'm going to do my magic ring with just one wrap around, like just the one. That's what I normally do. But if you really like are doing something like clothes or something that's really going to be used a lot or like played with a lot, I do this a lot for my plushies. And like I said, they just sit on a shelf. They're not like getting rough housed or anything. So I don't really care about durability. They'll be fine. They're just sitting there. But if you're going to make clothes, like I said, most people suggest that you wrap around twice. But I have only ever really done one. In, put this yarn, pull it through, turn, chain. I'm trying to do this without looking. Chain to secure, and then you have your ring. Pinch it there. I'm going to just do some single crochets again until I can close it. 1, 2. Let me have my stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once again, just pull on the tail and it'll start cinching up. Basically, I want you to be able to see it. It'll start cinching up, and now it's like this. So this is where the slip stitch comes in handy. A lot of people, if you're making like coasters and stuff mostly, you'll slip stitch to join. But for like the amigurumi plushies, you don't really have to join because you see how this is like not connected. It's like, yeah, it's a circle, but it's not quite there yet. We got a little bit of a gap. You can just work continuously, like in over and over and over again, which is, like I said, is what you normally do for plushies. But for coasters and stuff, you're going to slip stitch to join. So I'm going to just do that. I'm going to go into my next stitch yarn over, and then just pull it through, and now I've closed the whole thing up. But if you're going to slip stitch, then you also need to chain one, and then you can continue. You can turn. I probably wouldn't, but optional. Whoops. So I'm just doing a single crochet, putting my stitch marker in. Three. Whoops. 4. 5. And 6. And then, I mean, it'll just start getting bigger, and then you're going to want to slip stitch to join again. If I even can. Wait, that is my slip stitch. Don't go into that one. Go into the one with the slip marker. Slip marker? I can't even talk anymore. It's time for me to go to bed. Anyway, the magic ring is hard. I don't expect you'll get it anytime soon, but keep working on the chains, and I'll make another part 2, and you can tell me, bitch, you were going way too fast. I couldn't see shit. Your lighting ass, your mic ass, your camera ass, your ass, whatever. Just let me know. Now, how do I turn this shit off?